All right, hello everyone. Today is August 17th, and this is the Kubernetes Cluster API Azure uh, meeting. We are a CNCF projects, which means we abide by the CNCF Code of Conduct, which basically raise your hand before you speak and just be respectful of others. And yeah, so let's get on with um, let's see. Okay, first of all, are there any newcomers today? If you'd like to introduce yourself, go ahead and raise your hand. Okay, I'm guessing, yeah, no newcomers this week, so I will go ahead and move on. Uh, let's see. Let's go to the agenda here. So yeah, remember to please add your name to the attendee list above. If you don't have access, you can join the SIG Cluster Lifecycle group. And with that, let's move on to open discussion. So PSA, uh, I'm guessing this is Matt or someone. Yeah, go ahead, Matt.
Sure, although John really did all the work, but there's two patch releases out that have some important bug fixes. Go ahead and get them if you're using CAPC in production. The other thing I didn't put down here, but that's people probably want to know about is CAPZ, CAPI 1.5 is finally in our main branch. There was a lot of effort, unfortunately, required with that, but it's in there now, and it'll be in our next minor release, which is CAPC 111 on September 12th is the plan. Any questions about that? That's all I had.
All right, yeah, thanks, John and Matt, for taking care of this. Um, yeah, if there are no questions, we can move on to the next topic, which is John.
Yes, so this was something that just came up yesterday when I was hacking on some ASO VNet stuff. But I, I think Cecile actually pointed this out that there are some fields in Azure Cluster that in the spec for Azure Cluster that are populated from the Azure API with some sort of like actual state, which may fit better in the status for Azure Cluster. So this is an issue open to discuss possibly moving some of these fields or uh, kind of duplicating the actual state piece of those fields into the status for Azure Cluster. Um, because then this follows kind of Kubernetes best practices where controllers don't populate the spec fields for resources that that controller is controlling. So this was mostly just kind of a PSA and call for feedback if anybody else thinks they might be bitten by this. If we do change this, that would be very helpful feedback. So yeah, I mostly just wanted to bring this to the attention of people. But yes, there is a lot more context in this issue if anybody is curious. So I can happily answer questions now if anybody has them. Otherwise, feel free to hit me up on Slack or pile onto the issue if you have any thoughts. That was all I had.
All right, thanks, John. Anyone has any questions? Yeah, just let John know or just raise your hand. Feel free to interrupt. We have a lighter schedule today, so. And I think that's it for open discussion. Anyone have any like impromptu topics or things they want to bring up? Um, if you guys think of more stuff just while we're doing milestone review, let me know. We can wrap back around to this at the end. But yeah, if there's nothing else, let's do a quick PR triage. I think that's what we've been doing first recently. The no status ones first. So adding HTTP proxy support for managed clusters. Looks like there's a good amount of back and forth here. Looks like it's waiting for reviews again, so I'll put in needs review. That makes sense. This is a work in progress.
I just added this, so it's in progress still.
Got it. Cool, and then I think these two are still blocked. Well, I think we can maybe scroll through needs review, see if anything needs extra terabytes. John?
Yeah, for this PR, nothing has changed significantly in the last day or so, but I did just mark this as ready for review. There's still one prereq issue that involves an ASO dependency that we would want merged before we merge this PR.
Okay.
But I don't expect any changes for that to overlap with these changes. So yeah, just like I said there, I think this is ready for review, but we just should be careful not to merge this too soon.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so if anyone is interested in reviewing, this is up for grabs. Sure. This one is like, I think I just reviewed this. Yeah, we're good. I'm guessing it's a wait on, nah, it's still really waiting for reviews. Okay. Okay, this is my own PR, and I think I think Matt just reviewed it in the morning. So yeah, I'll respond to that. But yeah, I actually do agree that I think it's worth splitting into two commits. Sorry if this is like getting into the weeds, but yeah, cool. Next up, adding HTTP proxy support for managed clusters.
But we just looked at this one.
Okay, yeah.
And we put it in this column. Okay.
Yeah. Whoops. I was like, huh, this looks familiar. Allow authentication with workload identity for ASO. Like it's got an LGTM, so yeah, pretty close to getting merged. Cool. So that's it for PR triage. I guess next is probably bugs. I think we did a bug review last time, but so maybe it's worth it to get milestone review instead. What do y'all think?
Yeah, sure.
John?
Oh, I was just going to ask if there are any bugs without the priority label. Is that kind of the sentinel we've been using for like, is this triaged or not?
Oh yeah, you're right. Good point. So yeah, I think last week we actually decided that we would add these priority labels if we see the bug. Looks like all of these have, okay, no, there's a few at the bottom. So let's look at these. Change type of failure reason for Azure machine full status from machine status error to machine full status error. It seems like a fairly simple change. Maybe this could be a good first issue. What do y'all think? It's like just changing the failure reason. Let me ask
Yeah,
John.
it might be. I'm not sure if it's that simple. This is some fallout from that other PR that we kicked down the road.
I guess I'll just post a comment asking, but
Yeah, good idea.
and which priority would this be? I guess I wouldn't call this backlog because this is a result of the recent PR, I think. I'm not sure what other priority labels. Is there like a priority like active?
There's important dash long term, important dash soon. I think long term makes sense here, right? Or
Yeah. Unable to build container image locally. Oh, this is being fixed right now. I just reviewed the PR for that. So is it important soon or something? Because it's being worked on
that's
already?
one. Sure. Yeah.
Failed to parse resource ID collecting logs after Flex EDE test.
This has been going on for who knows how long, apparently. And we just looked at the logs closely. So I guess it's
Probably
backlog.
a backlog, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so that covers all the bugs. Yeah. All right. Milestone review. Okay, first one, support bring your own network interface. So I know this has been worked on, but Dane has kind of been, I think, out of office. So yeah, but like the PR is like pretty close to merging. It's just waiting on some review, I think, or some response. It has reviews.
Do you think it's waiting on author now?
Yeah, it's got wait on author on it.
Oh,
So
it is. Okay. Yeah.
I guess we can keep that in here. When's this due date? In about a month. Okay, so add support for cluster class. This is not gonna happen this at least at the end of the month because we got to get it in CAPI first. So I'll just put this in the next. How do I do that again? This one?
Yeah. Yeah. Or you can do the chat ops thing like / milestone space name of.
Yeah, I think for some reason I don't have like permissions to do that,
Oh,
but
you
I can
don't?
do it
Oh,
to the UI, so it's interesting.
Didn't know that was so restricted.
Azure Machine Pool UX stays in updating state until CNI is installed.
This one I have not gotten to. I've looked at it a few times. I'm really not sure what the solution is, and maybe I should unassign it at this point because I don't think it's realistic that I'm going to have time to look at it before the next release.
Okay, so I guess I can also move it to vNext if that's appropriate, or do you think
Yeah,
someone will pick it up?
yeah. I doubt anyone's going to pick it up, but yeah, we can move it to the next milestone.
All right, I'll try using the chat ops command and see if it works. Dang it.
Oh, all right, I'll go clean it up. I'm going to unassign it for myself as well.
Gotcha, thank you. So SDK v2 stuff, I know this is
Yeah.
being worked on.
Well, so the priorities changed a little, and no longer is it important to do the NAT gateway service. Although I do have a PR locally, maybe I should just put that out today. That has the async framework and the NAT gateway service, and it all works. So I guess we could tick those two things off. But realistically, it became much more important to support the managed cluster service. So that's what I'm working on right now, and it doesn't quite work. And then the other thing is that first bullet point, a lot of parallelizable work depends on that landing in main, and then we can do those other things on the list. So I don't know, I'm just mumbling, but essentially they're all waiting on that very first bullet point to merge, and then pretty much all these other tasks can proceed in parallel.
Cool. Yeah, async framework is every service like pretty much uses that. So
Yep, except for virtual machine images.
yeah, and that's yeah.
So that's all I'm working on right now. I'm considering right now whether it'd be worth actually putting out the NAT gateway service because it's a lot simpler and it works, and that would let us review. Maybe I'll do that. I will do that as well.
Sure.
And then we can decide maybe to merge that earlier.
Cool. Yeah, I'll keep it in the milestone. Also, is this depending on like the way I implemented auth in my virtual machine server? Okay, I will create a separate PR for that then. That doesn't combine both of them.
Oh, well, that's I was planning just to. I mean, your PR looks like it's about ready to merge. My comments notwithstanding. So I was figuring it'll probably land today or tomorrow, and I'll just rebase off main and get that stuff. So I don't know if you need to.
Yeah.
Or I can rebase off it as is. You're not really slowing me down, but I do need your auth code, I guess.
Cool. And yeah, I was wondering, so you said split it into 2 commits. Do you mean like 2 actual commits or 2 PRs? Because
I meant 2 commits in 1 PR might be cleaner.
okay.
But,
I wasn't aware that we could merge it without it being squashed. Is that like are we able to do that?
Yeah, the default is we merge however many commits are in there, which is why we're always, on people to please squash your commits before we do that. But there's definitely cases where, like a PR is composed of logical units, and then it makes more sense to merge several commits with 1 PR. That we can do that. There's also an option you can say, hey, when you merge this, prow, go ahead and squash the commits together. We try to avoid using that because it just does it naively and you get all the commit messages glopped together, which maybe you didn't want.
True.
That also works.
Okay, yeah, I can split it into these 2 commits then. Yeah, so SDKv2 stuff, it's fine. Tenant and client ID are, oh, this is what I'm working on. All right, yeah, this is in. So this is, for context, this is like when we try to adapt the virtual machine images client to SDKv2, it broke workload identity because it was prioritizing the environment variables instead of Azure cluster identity. So we are just removing auth using environment variables because it is deprecated and we were going to remove it anyways. So that is what my PR is doing. Add support in documentation on using Azure Scene. I know Nawaz's been working on this, so I think I'll just keep it in. He's also not here, so I'm not gonna bump it off. Convert all CI jobs to use workload identity. Ashutosh, do you have any updates on this?
I have not started on this today. I'll get to this after I finish the doc work.
Sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Should we keep it in this milestone or?
I think we should keep this a milestone. I'll have more updates like by next week.
Okay, sure, I'll keep it in then. Thank you.
That's also me. So that is the last leg of work on workload identity. I should be able to get back on this too by tomorrow, and I'll see how I progress. I'll update it.
Okay, cool. Thank you for working on this as well. Azure Go Auto Rest will soon be unsupported.
Yeah, this is kind of the very last domino to fall after we do all our SDK v2 stuff.
Okay.
And then probably that won't even be enough because we use little utilities from the Go Autorest package everywhere. So actually getting it out of there will probably require some final work.
Okay. Should I bump this to the next one then?
No, I think we have a fighting chance of getting there, or at least this is still one of the goals. So
Okay.
let's leave it for now.
Yeah, sure. Use CapH to install Helm charts.
I can give an update on this because I was working with Jonathan yesterday. He got CapH updated to support CAPI 1.5, and the vendoring issue we were worried about doesn't seem to be a problem. And so he's iterating on those. He rebased and is iterating on fixing some actual errors with just CapH in the E2E. So I think, and that presumably once one of the 3 PRs works, then we have the pattern to fix the other ones. So, oh, Jonathan's here. Am I just talking over you? I didn't.
Oh, he just joined.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was just providing an update and saying these seem like they're moving along.
Yeah, pretty much what Matt said. We just have to get the test to pass, but we seem to be in but at least better shape than we were before.
All right, cool. Thank you for the update. I think we're keeping that in. We got some ASO stuff. Yeah, go ahead, John.
Yeah, I think all the ASO stuff should be good to keep in the milestone. It might be a little tight, but I think we're good to keep all that in there for now.
Cool. All right, thank you. And I think the doc for workload identities should be good for this milestone. We've been hacking away at it. So yeah, I think that is the end of our milestone review. I think that's probably it for today. We've done the bug triage and PR labeling and milestone review. So if anyone have any other last minute like concerns or questions or whatever they want to bring up before we wrap up. Going once, going twice. All right, we got 30 minutes back. Thank you all for coming today, and yeah, I hope you all have a good day. I will stop the recording.